Yo, what's going on, boys? I know I'm a little bit late to the Steam leaks of the mini box, but the mini box has officially been announced, and all of the cards, including some new information, has come to light, if you will. And I figured now would be a good time to talk about it. Wanted to delay a little bit until we got a full picture so I can kind of not only give a first reaction to the box, but also just give my opinion. Do I think the box will be good? Right off the bat, yes, I do think this box will be good. I think a lot of the boxes in Duel Links have been really, really good. And I know a lot of people like to downplay every single box that comes out. We saw it with the Orcus box, the box before that. And I don't think this will be any different. I think a lot of people will downplay this box, but I do think this box has a lot of potential. We're not going to read every single card on here, but we will try to talk about every single card that I think will be important for the metagames. A lot of R's and SR's and a couple of the R rarity cards. First thing I want to talk about, though, is these two things, Crystal Wing and the box chips. The box chips, I'm going to put up a separate video to talk about that. Oh boy, what a rough video that's going to be. So check out that other video. It should be coming out about the same time that this video comes out. But I think huge is we are getting a limit one bundle Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. I think that is absolutely huge. No one actually expected us to get Crystal Wing, but he is a very powerful monster. One tuner plus one non-tuner synchro monster. Technically, he's generic as long as you have a non-tuner synchro monster specifically to make him. But Speedroids obviously are going to have the easiest time making this guy. And his effect is really fucking good. Once per turn, when another monster's effect is activated, quick effect, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy that monster. And if you do that, this card gains attack equal to the destroyed monster's original attack until the end of this turn. If this card battles an opponent's level 5 or higher monster during damage calc, this card gains attack equal to the current attack of the opponent's monster that it's battling during damage calculation only. So it just becomes a monster, just straight up monster negate once per turn, which is very powerful and extremely make in certain decks. Obviously Speedroid, and we'll see if any other deck makes it. Very cool card. Synchro decks, they like to combo with this card with other negates to really get their situations going, if you will. So let's talk about some other cards that we're getting. Of course, we're also getting Clear Wing Synchro. We already have this guy via the skills. I don't really need to go over what he does. Can negate level 5 or higher monsters if they're targeting them. A little bit weaker than the Crystal Wing. Crystal Wing is the evolved, stronger version of this guy. We're getting Win, the Wind Channeler. You can discard this card and one other Wind monster. Add one Wind monster with 1500 less defense from your deck to your hand, except Win, the Wind Channeler. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for this turn except Wind monsters. When a Wind monster you control is destroyed by battle with those cards in your hand, you can special summon it. You can only use this effect once per turn. So that'll be super interesting to see if anyone will be super good with this. Obviously, there's Ritual Beast, but I don't know if Ritual Beast is enough just with this card. We'll have to see what else we get, if anything. Wisdom Eye, which a lot of people are excited for. Wisdom Eye, if you have a Magician or Perform Power card in your other Pendulum Zone, destroy this card, and if you do, place one Magician Pendulum monster from your deck to your Pendulum Zone, except Wisdom Eye Magician. Monster effect, you can discard this card, target one card in your Pendulum Zone whose current Pendulum scale is different from its original scale. Its Pendulum scale becomes its original Pendulum scale until the end of this turn. So a lot of people excited for consistency boosting with Wisdom Eye. There you go. Next up, we got some Speedroids coming in, getting the good old Speedroids into one little package for you here. If you control a Wind monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can tribute this card, special summon one Speedroid tuner monster from your deck. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for this turn except Wind monsters. High Speedroid Shunbara, I think I saw this in the anime. This card can make a second attack during each battle phase. At the start of the damage step, if this card battles, it gains 200 attack. If this card, and that's a permanent attack boost, doesn't lose it. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your banished Speedroid cards, add it to your hand. You can only use special summon this card once per turn. We're getting the Void Ogre Dragon. Oh my goodness. One Dark Tuner plus one or more non-tuner monster once per turn during either player's turn. When your opponent activates a spell or trap card while you have no cards in your hand, you can negate the activation and destroy it. So there will be decks that make use of this. It'll be super interesting to see. Abyss Actor extras coming in. If your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your Pendulum Zone. You can only use this effect once per turn. And then monster effect, you contribute this card. Place one Abyss Actor Pendulum monster from your deck to your Pendulum Zone. Also, for the rest of your turn, you cannot special summon monsters except Abyss Actors, nor activate the Pendulum effect of Abyss Actor extras. So we're just going straight into a Pendulum era, making them super, super consistent here. We're also getting Abyss Actor Curtain Raiser. You might have seen this a lot in Master Duel. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your Pendulum Zone, and then it gains 1100 attack if you control no other monster. Once per turn, you can send one Abyss Script spell from your deck to the grave, add a face-up Abyss Actor Pendulum from your extra to your hand. We're also getting Raid Raptor Strangle Linus. This will help to extend some Raid Raptor plays. Raid Raptor is interesting because their problem is when they're finished making their plays, their board is okay, but their defenses are very weak and they're very low on life points. It's not strong enough, the board that they make. So we'll see if this helps. If you control Dark Monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for us to turn except Dark Monsters. If you control an Xyz monster with a Dark Xyz monster's material, you can target one level 4 or lower Raid Raptor monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated. So a lot of cool extending plays you can do with this card. We're also getting Satellite Cannon Falcon, which is something we weren't expecting. Pretty cool. If this card is Xyz summoned using a Raid Raptor monster as a material, you can destroy all spell and trap cards your opponent controls. Massive. Your opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to effects activation. Huge. If it shows up, uses effect, boom, they're gone. Quick effect, detach a material from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 800 attack for each Raid Raptor monster in your graveyard. Permanently does not gain those attack points back. Great back row removal card, can't respond to it. Basically, if they see any Raid Raptor with rank up magic, they're going to have to try and respond right away, or end up losing all their back row. We're getting Nirvana, the High Paladin. This is actually, I think, just recently, not super recently, came out in the TCG/Master Duel. This is a Synchro Pendulum deck. Oh my goodness. If a Pendulum monster you control attacks for that battle, it cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage at the end of the damage step. If a Pendulum monster you control attacked, all monsters your opponent controls currently lose attack equal to that attacking monster's attack until the end of this turn. And monster effect for this card, Synchro Summon, you could treat one Pendulum monster you control as a tuner. So really, really cool kind of mini effect there. If this card's in a Synchro summoned using a Pendulum monster tuner, you can target one card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. When this card destroys opponent's monster by battle, you can half your opponent's life points. If this card is in the monster zone, is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can place this card in your Pendulum zone. So that's how these cards kind of work. You summon them first. They do whatever they need to do, and then if they get destroyed, whether you destroy them or your opponent destroys them, then they go to your Pendulum scale. Don't know if he'll be super, super clutch in Pendulum or Synchro decks, but it's the next evolution of Pendulums. Performer Pal, Sea Eel. Once per turn, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls. That face-up card has its effects negated until the end of this turn. That is its Pendulum effect. That's pretty good, if I'm being honest. You just set this as a Pendulum scale, boom, negated face-up monster effect. I think this will see play. Monster effect, when this card is normal or special, you can target one set spell trap card your opponent controls. This set card cannot be activated this turn. Neither player can activate cards or effects in response to this card's effect. So that'll be super interesting to see how Performer Pal / Magician / Raging Pendulum decks use this card. We're also getting Ballotulia, the Grand Radiance. You can tribute this card by tributing one effect monster, or tribute summon this card, rather, during your opponent's main phase. If your opponent adds a card from the deck to their hand except by drawing them, and this card is in your hand, you can immediately, after this effect resolves, tribute summon this card. If this card is normal or special summoned from the hand, you can have your opponent banish cards from the top of their deck face down equal to the number of cards in their hand. Then they shuffle their entire hand into the deck, and if they do, they add the cards banished by this effect to the hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. Cute little effect. Don't think we'll be seeing it in the game. Some other notables, we get some other Abyss Actor cards as rares. Nothing too crazy here. It'll be interesting to see if Abyss Actor can kind of pop off. The Abyss Actor is also getting a buff in Master Duel as well, so it's interesting to see them kind of correlating these two. More Speedroids, Gum Prize, Speedroid Block and Roll, Synchro Cracker, target one Synchro monster you control, returns the extra, and if you do, destroy all face-up monster your opponent controls with attack less than or equal to the Synchro monster. Probably, again, not going to see this maybe as a side deck card, but nothing too crazy there. Pendulum Storm, it might be a little interesting. Destroy as many cards in your Pendulum Zone as possible. Then you can destroy one spell trap your opponent controls. Usually when you pop Pendulum cards, they get effects, and of course they go to your extra deck as well, so could be something there. We're also getting rank up Skip Force, target a Raid Raptor X you control, special summon from your extra deck, one Raid Raptor that's 2 ranks higher by using that target's material. And you get it attached and everything during your main phase, except the turn this card was sent to the grave. You can banish this card and 1 Raid Raptor from your grave, then target 1 Raid Raptor Xyz in your graveyard, special summon it. So we'll get to see if this will help the Raid Raptors with some more rank up magic. I know they've been asking for better rank up magic, so here you go. Here's something that they can use. Perform Pal Inflator Tapper during damage calc. If a monster you control battles opposed monster, you can discard this card. Neither player takes any battle damage. Another hand trap for them. More Speedroids, and I think that's mostly it. We're getting a new Starry Night, which is pretty funny because this was like a nice off-meta pick for a little bit there. Target Woodlight monster you control, tribute it, and if you do, set 1 Starry Night spell Trap Dragons from your deck. If a face-up level 7 Dragon monster you control towards the hand, you can special summon this card. So, and there's like a bunch of other things in here that I don't think there's anything too crazy that we need to talk about. So, I think overall, good box for being a mini box. I do actually think Speedroids have a decent chance to be good, especially getting something like Crystal Wing into the game is really, really huge. Pendulum decks got a little bit of a buff as well. And even if Speedroids themselves don't end up popping off, I think a deck can use Crystal Wing somewhere in their strategy. Maybe another Synchro deck, maybe Yugioh, maybe some sort of Pendulum deck. I'm not sure. But overall, I have faith that this will be good. I'm excited to see if Raid Raptor can do anything. I still think Raid Raptor needs a little bit more, but I'm excited to see. This will make them more consistent, have more extended plays, and Satellite Cannon Falcon is a really, 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 really good card, especially for a combo deck that's going to be comboing summoning from the the graveyard and stuff. Like as soon as it's summoned, it activates effect. They can't use back row against you, so that's huge. Excited to see how that works. So you guys let me know what you think of the mini box. Is it huge? Is it not that great? Just let me know.